Most of you have approached some form of a public building that had like an area in the front that was kind of like a little plaza or courtyard, right? Maybe it had a water fountain. It might have had benches. Maybe it had a flagpole. It might have had those bollards so that a car couldn't pull up, but they could take the bollards out and the car could back in there to drop things off, right? You guys are all familiar with that type of like front entrance to a building? Yeah? Okay, you're all going to be responsible to provide in front of your entry statement, whatever entry object or entry form you choose to go with, whether it's the whale's mouth or the subtraction or the additive component, you are going to have to provide a entry plaza, all right, that is going to be between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet in size. Okay? The edge of the entry plaza, one edge of the entry plaza will line up with the edge of the building, especially where the entrance is. The other part of the entry plaza will end at the sidewalk facing the parking area. Okay? And so depending on where you site your building, where you put the building, right, you're going to end up with a certain width. And I've given you a range, right, that will make up that 2,000 to 3,000 square foot entry plaza. Okay? The entry plaza will have public benches along two sides of it. And you can, if you want, include a small fountain, water feature, flagpole, sculpture in the center of the plaza. Okay? It's going to negotiate the difference between being in the parking lot and being inside of the building. So it's this interstitial space. You feel like you've arrived, but you're not inside the building yet. Okay? You no longer feel like you're out in the parking lot. Okay? You might have a nicer paving than the asphalt of the parking lot. We don't have to worry about that right now. I'm just trying to kind of get you guys to conjure this picture in your mind of something that can act as this forecourt, right, to the building. And you're all going to be responsible for delineating that. I drew one up here, and I think in order for the camera to see it, I'm going to have to darken it up with a pencil or a pen. So let me do it with this. So this drawing represents 4 of the walls of my little shaped building. Let's say it's this one, for example. Okay? And this represents the property line. The dashed line that's very lightly drawn represents the area where you can create a large three-dimensional object, not the property. And you'll notice that I have this area out in front, and I'm going to delineate it in a different color. All right, I think maybe I'll use green. that area right there designates my entry plaza. The way that I did it is I chose to use the alignment of the two edges of my building to create the shape of it. One edge stops at the building face, the other edge stops at the sidewalk in front of the parking lot. The other two sides are sort of dictated by, you know, the edge of the building and the size requirement. Okay? So what you guys are all going to be asked to do right now is going to be to go back to your project, and if you did not already print your site plan, you will have to print your site plan. Okay, actually you don't have to print your site plan because you already have this one, the big one that I gave you. And you're going to be asked to fix the shapes that you have, right? And then start to locate it on your site plan. You all should know where your buses are parking now. All right? So now what I'm asking you to do is to do a composite drawing that shows where the building is, where the entry plaza is, and where the buses park. Thinking about that you've got to pick one of the three entry approaches, not the entry approaches, three of the entry sort of element that I've given you. So whale's mouth, subtraction, addition. Okay? All right. Now, the way that I want you guys to do that is with your trace paper. All right? So, with a piece of trace paper, I can lay this over top of my plan, and I can start to, using the pieces that I have and the drawing of the piece beneath it, I can start to draw an iteration of my design. It's two-dimensional right now, but it's still an iteration nonetheless. So simply, that can see this, right, Natalie?
I have to retake a picture, but a little bit.
You can't see it?
You can see it, but just not really. Very close.
No, it just has to turn, right?
Yeah, a little bit. It's just not, I guess.
That's fine. It doesn't need to be real clear. All it needs to show is it needs to be able to see this. Does it see that? Okay. So pretty much you take a pencil or a pen and you're going to draw your property line. You're going to draw your curbs. Okay. You're going to draw your driveway approaches. So this isn't taking me very long. Shouldn't take you guys too long. You're going to draw your setback lines. Okay. And then you're going to position your building. You're going to draw the building shape, and you're going to draw sort of sketch, because you should all have your buses. If you don't, you're going to have to print them. You're going to have to sketch where your buses go. And all of this is done at 1/16 of an inch to a foot. And where your building might go, and where your plaza is. Remember that the plaza goes to the edge of this sidewalk. Okay? All right. So I'm going to give you guys 30 minutes to perform at least one of these. Okay? So Natalie will time it. Go ahead and stop.